Alright guys, so as the title suggested, we are going to be installing a cheap eBay sway bar. So here's the listing of it. As you see, I paid $125 for this thing. It's the sway bar as well as the brace bar. You need to have a brace bar when you're installing a bigger sway bar on EP3s and RSXs. The reason why is because if you don't, you can rip your subframe out where the sway bar is. So you have to make sure you get a brace. As you see, this one is literally like a copy of the Progress rear bars, sway bar like kits, which is about like $300. This one, and those are only 22 millimeters in the rear. This one is 25 millimeters in the rear. It comes with everything. It even comes with end links, supposedly. We'll see if it comes in the box or not. And it's for $125. So I bought this because I was literally about to buy the Progress one, but then I saw this came up. And like, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. I'll make a video, and I'll tell you guys if it's good or not. So one of the reasons why you want a rear sway bar in an EP3 and RSX is these cars are front wheel drive, right? A lot of the bias of the weight is in the front, and it'll cause a lot more of an understeer type situation. So when you put a stiffer rear sway bar in, it'll transition it more so the rear almost will start turning. So when you're taking turns quickly, the rear will be also following the car instead of dragging behind. Now, when you are putting in one of these, if this is like a daily driver, like seriously daily driver, and you're not too good at driving, you don't really want to do it just because if you take a turn, like an exit really hard, your rear end might start coming out and like oversteering. So this is mainly for those who want like a pretty like track and like performance spiritually driving type car. So, yep. The box is a little bit damaged, but that's okay. That makes it easier to unpackage. So let's see the first thing. Now, this is literally just like the Progress one. The Progress one I believe is like a gray color, and on it says Progress. This one's just black. So this should just be a brace and make sure I don't rip out the rear subframe. That's how it is on the back side. It's structural.
So a civil engineer made this, a bunch of triangles.
They don't know how to weld too well though. It's
it's civil engineer, dude.
Yeah, the welds aren't the best, but they're there. We'll see if it holds up. Maybe I'll do a review on like the suspension components of this car like a year later. We'll see how everything holds up. So yeah, there's that. This bag we have bigger bushings. Seem to be like a pretty stiff polyurethane style, so that's nice. We have these. This looks like to just be straight up steel, so I'm gonna paint these just to make sure they don't corrode. So yeah, we have two of those. It's good. We have a bunch of hardware, which is really nice. A lot of the cheap stuff on eBay, when you get it, they won't come with any hardware, so I'm really happy this one came with hardware. It seems like this is so you got all the little end links and stuff, and you have to piece it together. And of course there's no instruction manuals, but it should be pretty simple. And here we go, onto the big boy. So I wish I had my calipers though. I have no clue where my caliper is to measure the thickness of it, but it's definitely thicker than the other one.
That's like double the size of the one on the SVO.
It's double the size, yeah. I mean, welds look kind of weird. I mean, they're definitely welds, like it's welded in there. It just looks shit. So, yeah, you want to show them that. I mean, you can see the quality of it. Got a little damage in shipping, but honestly, this is not a show car, so I don't care. It's going underneath the car. So, yeah, that's what came in the box. So now we're gonna take the old one out, and we're gonna show you how to do all that.
So first things first is we got to remove the end links. These are usually a pain in the ass because you cannot get around to them with a wrench.
Yeah, well really what you should do is you're supposed to put a wrench here and then an Allen key in here, but there's just such a tight clearance right here, I can't get a wrench on it, so I'm just going to take an impact with a 17 mil socket and hopefully it's not going to spin on the inside. So let's see how this goes.
And it's out.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep, it's like clockwork.
Moving on to the other side, let's just give you an outside view.
Get it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh no, this one's spinning.
This one's spinning?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to get an Allen key and a wrench on this one. And
yep.
We'll see how it goes.
So the little thing we like to do is when we don't have the right size Allen key is we can throw on a Torx bit and it will do the same exact thing.
Yep.
Also just gonna spray down these bolts, make sure they come out. And it's free.
That has my socket.
So now, there's just gonna be these 4 bolts, and it should be free. Let's see.
And also, viewers, the sizes I found is that there should be, I believe the Allen key is a 5 or 5.5, and then this nut is a 17. But this is an aftermarket one off of Rock Autos, so like the OEM Honda sizes may be slightly different. So,
Okay, this guy is gonna be a 12 mil.
12 mil impact. All right.
I'm kidding.
I got 12 mil impact sockets.
It's loose.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
This is what we call in the industry a neutral drop. And now you can just carefully remove the entire assembly. Make sure it doesn't get caught on anything.
And there we go. There's the old sway bar. They do have poly bushings in it. It's the energy suspension ones. And look at the difference in size. It's twice as big.
But I could probably bend this with my feet.
Probably.
Do I attempt?
Nah.
Alright, so now we can get around to installing the newer one.
Alright, so first step is going to be to getting this brace installed. Now you have to use a little bit of shims. That's why we have a bunch of these. So we'll get back to you on which one is the ones you need to use because of course there's no instructions.
Alright, so the next step is going to be to remove the lower control arm bolts. And you're going to want a jack to support it. And obviously just to maneuver it around.
Okay.
So here are the bolts. Obviously you want to hit them with penetrating fluid because if you break something, it's not going to be fun.
Oh yeah, these ones are going to be terrible if you break them. So.
Yep, so I'm just going to spray them down with some PP Blaster. Hooking. Okay. Hopefully they're not seized inside the bushing.
They shouldn't be. I mean, I installed this, what, like a year or two ago?
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, we're gonna take those bolts out because this is how you install the brace. So let me just take these out, pretend I don't have it set up. So what you're gonna want these longer bolts because these are gonna replace those bolts. These are a bit longer and better. So you're gonna want it with the washer. It's gonna go through. And then on the back side, you're gonna have these larger spacers and it sits like that. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. And we're gonna take out that bolt. We're gonna put this one in. We're gonna like not fully tighten it, just get it so that it catches thread. We're gonna go to the other side, do the same, and then we're gonna completely bolt it in.
All right, so we're just gonna pray that this doesn't break. It's snowing. Little trick is if you're trying to be cautious about not snapping a bolt is to thread it out, thread it back in, and do that slowly. And as you see on the last reverse, it did not have any resistance for it to come out. Like the impact wasn't impacting. All right, and that's one out.
Yep. Now we're gonna first install this, and then we'll do the other side. So, yeah, like I said, we have bolt, washer, spacer, and we're gonna thread it in. Now, if it doesn't want to thread in, you'll have to play around with the jack, move it up, move it down, maybe like shove a wedge, but hopefully it'll go right in. We'll see. Cross my fingers.
This is odd. Is it supposed to have threads?
What?
This whole thing?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
It's only supposed to have threads at the end, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Well, the inside of your bushing has threads. So that's cool. Alright, that's as much as I can do by hand.
Alright, let's get the other side done now.
I mean, I just want to catch this guy. Oh yeah, we're golden.
Alright, we'll switch over to the other side so that you can still move around. You gotta move it up. There you go, this side, really easy.
This side was perfect. So now, obviously, we're not going to want to tighten these all the way just yet because we still have to preload the suspension. So I guess we'll give it a little bit of a break before we do that. Or do you want to just preload it right now?
No, we'll wait.
We'll wait?
We'll do it with the sway bar in.
So we keep it fairly loose, and then towards the end, you just want to torque everything down with the suspension loaded up so you don't get any weird clunking noise because that's usually what happens. And you also get premature suspension wherever you don't preload. So we'll have to make sure to remember to do that. So the next thing is going to be to install the sway bar itself. Let's do that.
All right, so when it came to installing that, we were following the directions for the progressor bar, but when it comes to these end links, these are pretty custom, so we have to kind of wing it. Now, here we have the factory one, and then over here we have this one. It's just like loosely up, so it's not like tight or anything, but the way we have it is we have the bolt going through, right? Take your hand out. We got the bolt going through. We have a washer, a spacer, the end link, another spacer, a washer, and then a nut. And then this is whatever height to make it similar to this guy right here. So this height, same as this. And then here we have the bolt going through this way. We have the washer, the spacer, two more spacers, and then you're gonna have the washer and another washer. In between this is where it's going to be mounting to the car, so that's how we have it. These spacers allow it for this to, let me get it better, so this to swivel like this. And I mean, it didn't, like we were thinking that there's going to be some sort of nut that goes here to jam this, but at the same time, the kit did not come with one, but at the same time, I mean, it doesn't really hurt anything for this to be swiveling because it's not going up and down, so it's going to be locked into this position. So hopefully that's how it's going to go. Now, when it comes to these polyurethane bushings, the kit did not come with any grease, but I have some of my own grease here. This is like for the, I think it's energy suspension. So I'm just going to throw this grease in it. You want to make sure you grease up any polyurethane bushings or else you're going to have lots of squeaking noises. So after we got that just set up, we got it on the other side. We're going to show you how to install these, and then we're going to be installing this to the car. Make sure you get a lot of grease in there. Doesn't hurt to have too much, especially when it comes to this, or else you're gonna have your ears bleeding from the sound of this thing squeaking all the time. Okay, so I got it in there quite a lot. I'm gonna grease the other one, and then I'm gonna throw this glove out, just because it's so annoying having this on your hand and trying to wash it off just because the grease is waterproof, so. Okay, there's one, and press it on. Boom, really easy. Okay, so now that that's done, it's time to install it. When installing these brackets, these are the brackets that's going to be holding the polyurethane bushings in. So the kit comes with these bolts and these little washers. I personally do not feel comfortable running those just because it's just not much. You can see how much it moves or whatever. So I took these little washers that I have and I'm just going to run them as well. So it's a bit more surface area for this thing to clamp on, and I think it'll just hold it much better. So yeah,
as well.
I'm also going to use some Loctite, some blue Loctite, just so it doesn't come undone.
First time on the history of Lowball Garage we use blue Loctite.
Yeah, except of course it's not Loctite, it's Harbor Freight thread locker. Yeah, can't afford the big stuff yet. But don't worry, we have a lot of updates coming to the channel soon. So the alignment of this sway bar is going to be like this, if you can picture this. So this part is flat and then it goes up, all right? So if you had upside down, it'd be going down. But we want it to be like this, so it's up, because then these will sit like this inside of the lower control arm. So just make sure that when you have it bolted, these ends, they're pointing up, not down. If you have it down, then it's upside down.
If you're in Australia, point them down.
And you just...
No, I'm holding it. So you got to do push-ups on it to get the clamp over it.
Yeah, now it's in. So move it Position it like that. Position it like that. Hopefully it's the same width. If not, we might have to move it around. But yeah, let's throw it in now.
These threads are a pain, dude.
Yeah, hopefully I'm getting threads and not making new ones, right?
So when it comes to installing the end links, it is the same thing as removing them. You're just gonna grab your end link, and then you're gonna have to pull the whole sway bar up, and your sway bar is gonna hit the exhaust now.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah. It's fake news. We can shorten it, or actually.
Shorten your exhaust?
No, shorten the end links.
Okay. So like we showed you earlier with the setup, you're just gonna pull it through and then thread the nut back on. Obviously, don't forget the washer, and then you just gotta tighten them down. Okay. And these are now installed, so now we're just gonna crank them by hand.
There's grease on everything, on all the tools.
Okay.
Oh.
Lefty tighty? Or lefty?
I feel I'm gonna break it with this wrench. Can I get? Where's the normal one?
It's gonna be over there. It's lost. Oh, I got it. There you go.
Yeah, I'll do it with the little midget.
Yep.
I mean, short people. I mean,
vertically challenged.
Vertically challenged wrench.
All right.
Are all the end links done?
The end links are done and torqued down. The last thing that we need to do is
Preload.
Preload.
Yep.
So let's do the preload now, and then.
We should probably preload both sides at the same time, right?
Yeah, sure. Let me bring the other jack then. Get this guy under here and just crank her up. I don't know if the hydraulic thing is tight.
It is.
Okay.
And then you do your side as well?
Yep. So. What?
Let me get my side ready. Okay, go for it.
Oh.
Did I lift the car?
Yep.
Okay, we lifted the car. Very good.
Hold on.
What? No, just keep it up in the air a little.
I know.
You have it in the air?
Yep. Yep. Okay, so full weight of the car is on the rear suspension. Okay.
It's good?
Let's see.
That seems good.
Good. That's good as well. Okay. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right.
So yeah, that's how you install a rear sway bar. We'll go on a test drive in a bit. We're gonna do some work on it off camera. Yeah, we're gonna change thermostat. We're gonna do a couple little wiring things. Unfortunately, I did sell the slips that I had on the car, and I bought these just a temporary. They're pretty ugly. Probably just quickly just paint them off camera. Yeah, we'll just paint them off camera because I want to do a 5-lug conversion on this car. I want to do Brembos up front from the TL Type S, just 5-lug conversion. Make this thing pretty sick. So for now, we'll have these ugly things, and I'll let you know how that sway bar is. Maybe take it for a little spin, and we'll see if there's any difference with upgraded sway bar compared to the older one. installed. We did fix the upper control arm as well. We did that off camera. It was just the bushings came out. We fixed it temporarily until I ordered better ones. But here, take a look at it. So that was a sway bar. I did a couple, pulls around some bends and stuff, and the car does feel a lot more planted. The rear definitely wants to give out a little bit more. So as long as you're able to, kind of know the limitations of your tires and how to oversteer, understeer kind of, go against it, then it's fine. But yeah, I mean, for $125 shipped to your door, it's worth it for sure. I can't compare it to the Progress one just because I don't have the Progress one, but this is basically the same thing as the Progress one. So the wheels right now, they are temporary. I sold the Rotas. These are just some garbage wheels. These are actually Rotas as well. We just quickly threw white on them. It was the only, we tried other colors, but they all look terrible. So we just said, fuck it, flat white, because we don't like black wheels, but we did flat white, and it's okay. It's good enough for the winter. So, because I do want to go 5-lug conversion in the future. I want to do the TL Type S Brembos up front, and just regular RSX rears. So, yeah. I'm happy with the sway bar, happy with how the car is handling. So yeah, all the suspension components is done, except I probably need to replace those upper rear control arms, the camber ones. These are some really cheap Godspeed ones I bought off Amazon for $50. So yeah, I'll replace those with probably a Megan one or Skunk or something. But yeah, next step is gonna be 5-lug swap and better brakes, because the brakes are horrendous in this thing.